Most agents right now, they want scripts. Serious agents want to understand psychology. This is the first time ever that I'm going to give you a real behind the scenes look at what one of my private coaching calls looks like. The exact framework that I use to set an appointment with a for sale by owner in this video is the exact framework that made me over $1 million in my first 3 years as an agent. And I'm going to be very honest with you. If you're looking for entertainment, this is not the video to watch. This call is not sexy. It is completely tactical. And if you stay until the end, you're going to know exactly A through Z how to maneuver conversations with the hardest for sale by owners. I hope you enjoy. See you at the end. What I want to do first is I want to do a run through of the first call so you guys can just hear it. It's about a 5-minute call. I'll put it on 1.5 speed. We'll spend about 3 minutes together listening to the whole call. And then we'll go back to the beginning and break it down line by line. Cool? All right, let's get the show on the road. Let me know if you guys can hear this, by the way. I clicked on the home that you have here on Tom's River on 11th. Does this sound good?
Yep.
Okay, great. Listen, I'm going to keep this. Octavio? Octavio, how you doing? It's actually Alexis. Listen, I'm going to keep this short. I clicked on the home that you have here on Tom's River on 11th. Do you still have that available by any chance? Or I'm assuming you already got a contract on it, right? Properties are flying.
No, I'm getting calls left and right, though.
You're getting calls left and right? Yeah, listen, I'm going to keep it short, man. I am an agent. I run a team there in Jersey. I operate out of Miami as well. I'm sure you saw the area code. Just out of curiosity, I know you're for sale by owner. Are you open to the idea of us connecting you with a client? Obviously, as long as the numbers made sense. Is that something you're open to, or are you strictly doing it for sale by owner no matter what?
If you have a buyer, no, I'm open to that.
Okay, so if I have a buyer, you're open to the idea. Again, obviously, I know the market right now is hot.
Yeah.
Right. Is your main priority, Octavio, if you don't mind me asking, like paying less commissions or just doing whatever you got to do to bring the highest buyer with the best offer?
So, no, it's because we also have realtors in the family. And so, we're not really looking to list because we have some real estate experience over here on the side. We sold our last property for sale by owner.
Watch me coach it.
So, but we're not really looking for anybody to list it. We're already getting a lot of traction. We're already getting some offers. We are willing to entertain if there are an agent with a buyer. Somebody has called that does have a buyer. They've made a verbal offer. We haven't seen him yet. Haven't had a contract. We haven't came to see it yet. We haven't signed anything. There's nothing contractual yet or anything. But
okay.
We're getting a lot of other calls. And once again, if you guys are looking and you guys have a buyer in mind, we can. It's about connecting us with a buyer.
Right.
We're open to that.
Okay. Octavio, let me guess, bro. You probably talked to over 30 people already in the last day, right?
Oh, it's rounding that number.
Yeah. Can I be honest with you? I don't know what realtors are telling you over the phone. This property will sell whether you use an agent or not, and you will probably sell it for a really good amount, no matter what. The reason why I asked you the question earlier, do you care about the commissions or do you want to make more net money, is because if obviously there was a way to get it exposed to buyers that were willing to pay more for it, you could end up netting more money. And listen, I'll be real with you, and you can keep it real with me as well. Most of the time when I talk to someone like yourself that's doing it on their own, they have people in mind that they would work with that are trusted, that are realtors. But in reality, if any of those realtors were really, really, really good at their job, you probably would have worked with them in the beginning because they're proven to get people more money, right? But with all that being said, I just wanted to be transparent with you and let you know that you could sell it on your own. My question to you is, are you more committed to just kind of doing this on your own, getting rid of it like that? Or are you open to the idea of going down the route that's going to make you the most amount of money net?
No, I don't know who would take the other option, but no, I'm not the type to cut my nose to spite my face. I'm looking at the net number, and if we can make it work and everyone, I'm okay with that.
Okay. And again, just to give you clarity, Octavio, the reason why I'm mentioning that, I'm sure you're aware and you've done this in the past. Right now, you're getting probably a lot of calls from realtors and some buyers and also some investors. Okay. The only thing that sells a property for less or more is the marketing. And what marketing is exposure. If I can get this property in front of more buyers that have more money to pay for it and then put them in the property and actually show them the value of the home, not just financially, but emotionally, because that's what a residential home is, that's when you can have a result of, call it on average 8 to 10% more net money in the seller's pocket if done the right way. And obviously right now, I just met you over the phone. We've never met. I don't even know if what I've done for other people can work for your property. I guess my ultimate question is, are you open to a second opinion at this point, just to see if it would even, make sense for this home since you're so early on in the game?
I'm open to a second opinion.
Okay. That property, I only see 3 pictures there, Octavio. Are you guys living in it or is this like an investment home?
Living in it at the moment.
Okay. When are you guys typically there? I'm actually going to be showing another home probably a couple miles away from there tomorrow. I don't know if like early afternoons or later in the evenings work better. And again, I want to be very, very clear with you and have you understand that I just want to take a look at the property. I've done this for many, many other homes just like yours, show you what I've done. And obviously at the end of the day, you're a smart guy. You already have your ducks in a row. If whatever I have to share doesn't make sense, we won't go over any other details and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we could possibly do that. Can you maybe text me your information and maybe I can set up a time when it's good there. I'll be there and we can discuss everything that you're saying. You said maybe tomorrow at what time?
Yeah, so tomorrow I'm going to be in that area early afternoon. I'm a little flexible in the later evening. It wouldn't take more than 20 minutes. More importantly, I only see 3 pictures on here. I'm obviously going to do some research on the internet, but I'm not going to come in here and tell you what your property's worth by looking at, numbers on a screen, bro. At the end of the day, when you buy a residential property, obviously it's about the neighborhood, the feeling of the property, and there's a lot of emotion that goes involved, and that's how you can sell a residential home for more. I don't know if any realtors communicated that to you. So I'd like to see it. I'd love for you to show me the ins and outs of the property. You've been there obviously longer than I have because you own the home. And then I can kind of walk you through what it is that I do on the marketing standpoint. If any of that makes sense, we can discuss more details. If not, obviously you keep doing it on your own.
Yeah, sounds good. I might be available more towards the evening.
Okay. Well, what are a couple times specifically tomorrow in the evening that you think could work so I can pop by?
Oh, it's Thursday. I'd say realistically, I'd like to say 7 o'clock.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, I'm gonna pencil in 7 o'clock. I want you to text me your email when we hang up. I'm gonna do a little bit of research tonight. If for whatever reason, because I don't want to waste your time, dude. If for whatever reason I figure that what I've done in the past can't work for you, I'll just let you know ahead of time. If not, I'll show you a text. I'll confirm, and I'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Okay, my name's Alexis. I'm with EXP, and I'll send you over all my details now.
Sounds good.
Okay, all right, I'll talk to you. We'll talk soon. I'll see you tomorrow at 7.
All right, buddy.
Bye. Come on, Chip.
What are your guys' initial thoughts before we dive into this call? 6 minutes, 38 seconds is what it took me to do that.
My inclination is that most of the people who gave or after they heard his initial response, they didn't double back down and reiterate why it would make more sense, or even ask again if he would be totally against it. They're just like, okay, I understand if I have a buyer, etc. The fact that you kind of put his feet to the fire and were not aggressive, but you reiterated, hey, I will only do this if this makes sense for you. And he said he was open to it. He said, I'm not gonna, sacrifice my face for my nose or whatever.
Yeah.
That sounds like someone I would definitely move forward with trying to meet ASAP.
Yeah, 100%. I like that feedback. Anybody else have any initial thoughts before we break down the psychology behind what happened on this call?
So in the first couple of seconds or first minute or two, like his guard was up and then the guard came down. Even his tone changed. Like he was, like super, like, super.
What do you think is the main reason why, from this call in particular, made him lower the guard out of everything that I was doing?
Like the pull and pull kind of effect. So when he was leaning in, you were leaning out, and then you double leaned out, and then he was like kind of like almost like you were falling, and he was like reaching after. Like like almost like he wanted the come. Like if you have told him that you're not going, he would probably beg you to come next day.
Right. I love that. Yep. Lainey says, did I get the name wrong now? I haven't talked to you in a while. You didn't sound like a robot or salesperson. You sounded confident. And yeah, I sounded very, I mirrored the prospect. I don't know if you guys heard, but I said, bro, dude, I think one time, which is obviously you're not going to use that with everybody, but I made it sound very natural and non-salesy. And what you're saying, Chris, is 100% correct. Leaning out of the conversation and sounding very detached from the outcome, I think is my tone, like almost at the end of every sentence that I said that made it sound like a pitch, offering him the second opinion, I was kind of sounding like I almost didn't care whether or not he would say yes. Right? And if it doesn't make sense, you just let me know and you keep doing it on your own. It sounds like you have your ducks in a row. And even if what I share with you doesn't make sense, you're just going to keep doing it on your own. And look, you're already going to sell it for more money on your own. The question is whether or not you can maximize the sale. So that kind of language makes them feel very comfortable. And remember, the only thing we're trying to accomplish on the phone call is what?
Just put the foot in the door, get the appointment.
Get the foot in the door. And like Matt said earlier, we want to make sure we're meeting with qualified people. Notice how I didn't really ask about motivation. I didn't really ask him what his timeline was, whatnot. This was to give you guys context. Chip had called this guy earlier, and we determined that he was very motivated to sell. But sometimes in their tone, you can tell whether or not they're motivated. If they're beating around the bush with the questions that you're asking, you can tell whether or not someone's truly motivated. If I were to truly go to this appointment, I'd maybe call him in between from the time that I said it before I showed up and ask him a couple more qualifying questions with the timeline to make sure that my time is being valued correctly.
Right.
Before I moved forward with the appointment.
But it's,
Makes sense?
you mentioned that it's only 3 pictures. He sold FSBO before. I'm like, how do you even, like, if it's a house, whatever that it was, I'm like, how do you put 3 pictures up? I don't even know if it's
Right.
quality or not, but I'm like, just the thought of it that, 3 pictures of a property that you want to sell for like thousands of dollars or
Right. No, notice how I wasn't combative about that though.
right.
I just used it as an excuse to view the property. And something I want to mention that's very important, that I want to preface with. what we're trying to do on these calls, especially with canceled listings and for sale by owners more than anything, is we're trying to change their belief system. They're behaving in a certain way right now by doing it on their own because of their current belief system. If you want to write that down, right? I saw this guy, his name's Mario, on Instagram yesterday. He's like, you guys got to cut the BS. And by BS, he means belief system. The reason why they're selling at FSBO is to save money, not make more money, because their current belief system is of scarcity. So we can't, on Raphael's call today, Raphael, you did a great job, by the way. Towards the back end of the call, he used some word tracks that I felt like we could have replaced with more questions. Because on the phone, Raphael might obviously understand that by using a professional, you're going to help them make more money. But their current belief system is that by just saving on commissions, remember, Raphael, you were talking about flat fee, $500, 1% commission. That is them telling you, my belief system is I want to save. I want to be scarce. So one of the common themes here, Chris and everybody else on this call, was that I was always going back to his objective of netting the most amount of money, not saving. Most for sale by owners are going to tell you, I want to save. Most homeowners in general are going to tell you, I want to save, right? Carrie, that call that you sent in today, I took a listen to it. He mentioned that he was committed to another agent, right? And he was loyal. A great question you could have asked her when they say, look, I'm committed to another agent or a family member. Look, John, I totally respect that. I appreciate the fact that you're loyal. From what I've gathered on this short phone call so far, I get the feeling that your main priority overall is to just make sure when it comes time to sell the home, you net the most amount of money. Is that right? So I guess my ultimate question to you, I don't know if you guys noticed that word that I put in there. My ultimate question to you is, if there were to be a second opinion out there that could prove to net you significantly more, I guess in that case, what would you do? Would you be open to the second opinion, or would you be strictly committed to the family member or the friend no matter what? Does that make sense? Like a lot of we're going to get into it right now. A lot of the questions that I was asking were very specific questions, very specific either or questions, right? Because on the phone, all we're trying to do is qualify, disqualify. If they're qualified, set an appointment. At the appointment is where we try to shift the identity and get them to buy by shifting their belief system. We're not going to shift the belief system over the phone. That's why we don't want to talk about pricing, commission. We don't want to be very detailed about our process. We give them clarity, right? I told them, my process is to market your property and get it in front of the best buyers with the best offers. I don't know if what I've done for my clients in the past would be a good fit for you, right? It sounds like you have your ducks in a row. All I'd like to do is share this information with you. You're a smart guy. If nothing makes sense, you're obviously going to continue doing it on your own, right? We've talked about setting the agenda and selling the exit in the past. If people feel like they're being cornered into a decision, they're not going to be open about the way they share the information with you. And the only way we get people to shift their belief system is if we are able to understand their current pain, their desired outcome, and repeat that process back to them and give them clarity as to why they should use us to get from where they're at to where they want to be. Make sense so far?
Right. So use the hook for him to, not lure him in, but in some way to painting the future picture that there is something better out there if he's interested.
It really, like on this call, it was very straight to the point because this guy's a very straight to the point kind of guy. With other kind of prospects, you might want to paint the picture a little bit more and be more descriptive. Look, John, I know that right now the idea of working with an agent and paying a commission is the last thing on your mind. I get the feeling that all you want to do right now is kick your feet up at the beach in Florida, be closer to your grandkids, and have this all taken care of with the most amount of money in your pocket. Is that right, or am I off? That might be a more descriptive way to paint the desired outcome, right? But really, that kind of selling comes at the appointment. Notice how I kind of got through all the stuff that I had to get through in 6 minutes, which is a very important thing that I want to point out as well. A lot of us probably spend 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes just kind of ranting with some people. Maybe we just listen to their, sob story. When in all reality, if that's what they're showing you 5 minutes in to not even knowing you, what's going to happen during the transaction when you're managing their deal? How much time are you going to waste because of this person not fitting your avatar? you know? So I'm going to dive into this. Let's break this down line by line here. You guys ready? Give me some, why don't we get some ones in the chat? If you guys are ready, let's get some ones in the chat. Let's get the 2025 energy going here, Mr. Wayner. Remember, we have to get all the ones in the chat. By the way, why don't we take a minute here to give a quick shout out to Matt and say thank you for the time that he's poured into us over the last couple of weeks. We appreciate you, man. I know you're running a big business and you're taking time out of your day to do this for us. I appreciate you. We appreciate you.
Dude, absolutely. No problem, man. I'm happy to. One other thing, I wanted to just point this out. I know you'll point it out. Do you realize how fast that dude forgot about his family members that were in the business?
It's a smoke. I think it's a smoke screen, but notice what I said. Hey, man, if we're being honest with each other, I'm being real with you. You can be real with me. If there was someone in your family or close proximity you truly felt like was the only option to sell this home, you probably would have been working with them anyways, because they would have proven to you they can get you more money. Right? And no, the reason why I used that handler for this guy was because of who I thought he was. In another scenario with another person, I would have asked them the question that I just talked to Carrie about. More of a question frame. Is it more important for you to net more money, or are you more important to stay loyal to the person that you've done business with in the past? But we know, like, remember, they're saying one thing, their actions are demonstrating something else. If they were committed to that person, loyal to that person, they wouldn't be in a for sale by owner position in the first place. Right or wrong? You know? So like with these prospects, we gotta really pay attention to their actions, not their words. They're liars at the end of the day. Okay? All right, let's get the show on the road. Let's get into this call. I'm going to slow it down for you guys because I know I talk very fast. Yeah, listen, I'm going to keep it contract on there. I'm going to keep this short. Octavio, how you doing? It's actually Alexis. Listen, I'm going to keep this short. I clicked on the home that you have here on Tom's River on 11th. Do you still have that available by any chance? Or I'm assuming you already got a contract on it, right? Properties are flying. What can you guys tell me about my tonality in that opening line? What does that tonality feel like?
Very curious.
Curious, and what else?
Nonchalant.
Like neutral.
Nonchalant, neutral. What other words come to mind?
Friendly and understanding.
I like that. When I say this line right here, by any chance, Tom's River on 11th. It's actually Alexis. Listen, I'm going to keep this short. I clicked on the home that you have here on Tom's River on 11th.
Randomly called. Like, you know,
What's
you
that?
were just browsing, and then you just picked, it caught your eye, and then you just, you know, you picked on it, you just called like unintentional.
Right. I said, number one, the first thing that stands out to me is that I just say, you know, Tom's River on 11th versus just like robotically saying the address. And the word to me, like in the beginning of a call, like, look, listen, Tom, I just saw the property on Tom's River here on 11th. I know you've probably been getting a ton of calls. I'm going to be brief. I have one question. That kind of like already sells the exit. You know, you're not opening the call with like, hey, Tom, I saw the property here on 15th Street. I have a couple questions. You have a minute? Like that kind of tonality and entrance makes them feel like you're going to take their time up. And you got to understand they've been getting called by a ton of people. You want to be very brief and confident with conviction in the beginning and make it sound like you have one question. That's the hook. Then when you get the one question and now you're engaging in a conversation. Make sense?
And Alexis, something that I'm sorry, go ahead, my bad.
No,
something that I think that you did that I don't even know if you meant to do this, but I'll do this sometimes on calls. You made an assumption that ultimately benefits him. So he already has a good frame of mind about you. Like you already said, like did you guys already sell it? You know, properties are flying here. You made an assumptive comment or a question based off of something that benefits him. So you're already in a better light compared to other people.
Right. And that line right there, great pickup, Matt. That line right there, if it wasn't flying, he'll get curious and say, what do you mean they're flying? I haven't gotten many calls. So like you can't really shoot yourself in the foot with that line, because if they are flying, this guy's like, okay, this guy gets it. He's not going to sit here and waste my time. If not, he's going to get curious and say, well, what do you mean they're flying? Right. So I think you're right. I subtly did that just naturally. That's a great pickup. All right, let's get back into it. Do you still have that available by any chance? Or I'm assuming you already got a contract on it, right? Property. You saw it, right? I'm assuming you already got a contract on it, right? Properties are flying. No, it's still available, right? Now that little dopamine hit in their minds, like, oh, are you a buyer? Are you a realtor? But like, that's the whole point of an opening line, is to get them hooked into the call. Is there a flying?
No, I'm getting called left and right though.
You're getting called left and right. Notice how we use one of our techniques there, which is just echoing the prospect. He said, I'm getting called left and right. And I said, oh, you're getting called left and right. And that's just always me trying to buy 2 or 3 seconds to let them know that I'm listening and figure out what I'm going to say next. Simple. Yeah, listen, I'm going to keep it short, man. I am an agent. Listen, I'm going to keep it short, man. I am an agent. I run a team there in Jersey. I operate out of Miami as well. I'm sure you saw the area code. Okay, let's pause here because this is a little bit of like higher level status play. I was calling a FSBO in Jersey. I obviously know that his first question is, why do you have a Miami area code? This might not be the case for any of us, but why would saying something along the lines of, look, man, I run a team out of here in Jersey. I'm also, from Miami, et cetera, whatever. Why would I say something like that?
I think it's twofold.
Carrie said
I think it's
status.
twofold because a lot of people want to know that they're working with a local expert. If they have that belief already that you're not a local expert, that you're just some random guy calling from Miami, you're going to lose a lot of trust. But yeah, then also the status thing. It's like, hey, this guy is not some small time realtor who's not doing anything. Like he has 2 different teams in 2 completely different areas. Like he's obviously up to something.
Yeah, and you guys, like, let's say you're a part of a big team in whatever market you're in. It's like, hey, look, I'm calling from the ABC team. We do a lot of transactions here in Jersey and in New York as well. Like, kind of refer to yourself as either the leader of the team. It's again, guys, it's just a status play to get you closer to the appointment. I wanted you guys to pick up on that. Let's listen to that line one more time. Set a team there in Jersey. I operate out of Miami as well. I'm sure you saw the area code. Just out of curiosity, I know you're for sale by owner. Are you open to the idea of us connecting you with a client? Obviously, as long as the numbers made sense. Is that something you're open to, or are you strictly doing it for sale by owner no matter what? Okay, so there's a lot of stuff to understand there, right? Let's listen to it one more time, and then I want you guys to tell me what I did there. Or just out of curiosity, I know you're for sale by owner. Are you open to? So that line right there, just out of curiosity. I'm leaning in to ask him a question, right? I acknowledged, hey, I know you're for sale by owner. Just out of curiosity, that's me opening the question and then me positioning right there afterwards an objection preventer, right? I know you're for sale by owner. I'm aware of the fact that you're getting calls. The idea of us connecting. Are you open to the idea of us? Group, not me, not individualized, not the realtor, us, and open to the idea. Idea is something very open-ended. He doesn't feel obligated. It's an idea. It doesn't exist. Does that make sense? Very important language. With a client, obviously, as long as the numbers made sense, is that connecting you with a client, not a buyer. Very important language. Are you open to the idea of us connecting you with a client as long as the numbers made sense financially after any kind of commissions or closing costs? Right? So now he's kind of viewing me in his mind as a broker, because that's what I am. Not a buyer's agent. I'm a high-level broker that runs multiple plays in multiple states. Without saying that. Hey, I run 2 teams and I've sold 100 properties in the last 2 years. I didn't say that. I'm positioning myself as a higher level agent versus everybody else that's calling. Good so far? Something you're open to, or are you strictly doing it for sale by owner no matter what? Is that something that you're open to, or are you strictly doing it for sale by owner no matter what? Can someone break down that question for me?
You're finding out the motivation if they're even willing to entertain the idea of working with someone who is just, for sale
What's
by
the
owner.
what's the most important part of that question? Is that something that you're open to, or are you doing for sale by owner no matter what?
You're giving them like a very negative like frame.
Correct.
And
You're
they
100%
don't they
right.
don't want to think like it's completely like that they don't want to be like close-minded completely on it.
Yeah, like
Right.
no
Because
matter what.
right, because when I say, Luis, are you open to the idea of selling with an agent, or are you doing it for sale by owner no matter what? When I say no matter what, they're going to immediately think of making less money. No,
Yeah.
it's like, because remember, their commitment, their identity is I'm doing this to make the most amount of money. But the way that they're viewing it through their belief system is by the only route to get there is by saving money, not strategizing with an agent, positioning the property correctly on the market, and making more. Right? So that's why I say that question like that. It's an either or question. Are you open to the idea of that? Or are you doing for sale by owner no matter what? And it's very important that it's positioned that way, not the other way. Hey,
Hmm.
Luis, are you doing for sale by owner no matter what? Or are you open to the idea of working with an agent? Because the last thing that they heard is no matter what. You know, Luis, I mean, obviously your main goal right now is to net the most amount of money from what I've gathered. Is that fair? Yeah. Are you open to the idea of us connecting you with a client as long as the numbers made sense financially? Or are you doing it for sale by owner no matter what? Much more likely for them to give you the answer that you're looking for.
Because they always hear the first question, I'm assuming, right?
The
Like
the last the
psychologically.
last the last thing they're hearing is the negative frame.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Remember, there's three different tiers of people that our prospects are going to believe. What we're trying to do here is create an opportunity to meet with them in person to shift their belief system and get them to work with us, right? They're going to believe us last. What do I mean by that? If you tell them something, hey, look, I know that you're for sale by owner. Obviously, I'm sure you're aware of the numbers. Working with an agent and positioning the home on the market correctly is going to get you far more money. That line right there is you telling them a fact, right?
Mhm.
Are they more likely to believe you or themselves?
Themselves.
Why?
They don't know you.
Because you're kind of like telling them rather than
So,
asking
so someone
questions.
just said it. I don't know who just said that. Who was it?
Travis. They don't know
Travis.
you.
They don't know
You're a
us. They don't
stranger.
know us. They don't trust us. There's no connection. We're trying to build authority. We're trying to build trust. We're trying to build connection, but there's none of that right now. Right? So if I wanted to get them to understand that their objective is making the most amount of money, I need to ask them questions over and over again. Right?
Mhm.
Luis, I'm assuming that the reason why you're doing this isn't necessarily to save on commissions. I'm assuming that you're more so just trying to do whatever it takes to sell the home for the most amount of money net. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now we're shifting them towards that end goal, end goal. You'll see what I do here. Let's keep going. I just
Mhm.
want to make sure I point that out for you guys. They're always going to believe themselves, not you. Strictly doing it for sale by owner, no matter what.
If you have a buyer, no, I'm open to that.
Okay. So if I have a buyer, so he says, if you have a buyer, I'm open to that. Most common objection that FSBOs get you, right? One of the most common ones. Let's see what I said. Open to the.
If you have a buyer, no, I'm open to that.
Okay. So if I have a buyer, you're open to the idea. Again, obviously, I know. What was the first thing that I did?
Repeat.
I literally repeated exactly what he said. Okay, so if you're a buyer, if I have a buyer, you're open to the idea. I changed it a little bit. I put the word idea back into the conversation. Okay. Understand, guys. I'm trying to talk to his subconscious, not his conscious. He's consciously going to try to do everything he can to not meet with a realtor. That was the plan. I need to talk to the subconscious belief system. Okay. So I need to keep putting in keywords like idea, things that are not set in stone, things that make him feel like he's in control. Okay. The market right now is.
I'm open to that.
Okay. So if I have a buyer, you're open to the idea. Again, obviously, I know the market right now is hot.
Yeah.
Right. Is your main priority, Octavio, if you don't mind me asking, like paying less commissions or just doing whatever you got to do to bring the highest buyer with the best offer? Let's break that line down right there. If you don't mind me asking, right, let's listen to the whole line one more time. So if I have a buyer, you're open to the idea. Again, obviously, I know the market right now is hot.
Yeah.
Right. Is your main priority, Octavio, if you don't mind me asking, like paying? No, notice how I'm trying to like lower his guard before every question, right? Is your main priority, Octavio, if you don't mind me asking, like kind of asking permission rhetorically? Like he's not going to say, yeah, I don't mind you asking, but I'm rhetorically asking for permission, right? Is your main priority, Octavio, obviously, if you don't mind me asking, lower guard, ask question. less commissions or just doing whatever you got to do to bring the highest buyer with the best offer? Is your objective paying less commissions, or secondary question, doing whatever you got to do to bring the best buyer with the highest offer? Luis, notice how the question that I want him to answer and lean towards is positioned second again. Because I'm the one guiding his thoughts, right? I didn't say working with a realtor, hiring a listing agent. I said doing whatever you got to do to bring the highest buyer with the best result, because that's his objective. The path is what we're trying to open to his mind, that using the realtor, doing all the stuff that we do is the right path, right? But we need to make sure he's open-minded first. And also bring up any objections that he has so we can handle them. Okay, and we're going to see that come up right here.
So, no, it's because
I got the guy thinking. He goes, so when I pick up on that on the phone, when I hear him thinking, I know that I'm saying things that other realtors are not saying, because he's off script now. If you call for sale by owners very frequently, you notice they say the same shit over and over and over again, like a script. They almost have their own script. Whenever I get them thinking about their next answer, I know that I'm sounding different than everybody else. And I'll use that as a play later on if I have to. Look, John, out of all the people that have called you, how many have had a conversation like the one that we're having right now? I've done that many times in the past. Let's keep going. Is this good so far? You guys are understanding? Yes? Cool. We got to do more of these. We haven't done one of these in quite a while, and I think I love these. I'm sure this is valuable as well, so let's keep rocking.
we also have realtors in the family. And so,
there it is. We also have realtors in the family. Yeah, exactly, man.
you know, we're not really looking to list because we have some real estate experience over here on this side. We sold our last property for sale by owner.
Watch me cook, Chip.
So, but
I knew I was about to cook.
we're not really looking for anybody to list it. We're already getting a lot of traction. We're already getting some offers. We are willing to entertain if there are an agent with a buyer. You know, somebody has called that does have a buyer. They've made a verbal offer. We haven't seen him yet. Haven't had we haven't came to see it yet. We haven't signed anything. There's nothing contractual yet or anything. But
Okay.
we're getting a lot of other calls. And once again, if you guys are looking and you guys have a buyer in mind, we can. If it's about connecting us with a buyer,
Right.
We're open to that.
Okay. What do most realtors make the mistake of doing here? After this line, he's talking about, I don't want to list. If you have a buyer, bring a buyer. We already have someone in mind. I have experience. What do most realtors make the mistake of doing here?
You take the bait.
Take the bait.
They take the bait. What does that mean, Matt? Elaborate.
So they basically, in a similar way where you're asking two different questions and you want them to focus on the last part, he's doing the same thing. He's like, hey, he's channeling you as a buyer's agent. He is putting you in a box as you are a buyer's agent who's bringing me a buyer.
He said, you guys, right? He's labeling me as everybody else.
Yep.
And when you say the bait, what do you mean by that? Because most realtors will take the bait and they'll start engaging to talk about the listing, the buyer, what they do, why they're different. When all we want to do is shift the conversation back to what? What is the only thing that's important to him?
You getting them the best result possible.
That's it. But he put out the bait. He put it on a hook, made it look nice and pretty. And most realtors will either get combative, they'll get argumentative, and they'll start talking about the listing, which is our objective, right? But we need to talk about his objective. We need to shift the conversation back to his objective and the fact that whether or not he's open to a second opinion.
That's why I think it's so important to take the whole mindset of just getting in front of them is the most important thing. If you're getting in front of someone under false pretense, they're going to think you're trying to do a bait and switch and you lose all credibility. That's why the clarity is the big thing, I think.
Yeah, you're going to see here how we clarify all that right now, Matt. This is a solid listing appointment. And this is not a preview. Solid listing appointment. Octavio, let me guess, bro. You've probably talked to... So, you guys want to hear the objection one more time? I'm about to cook this guy right now. Let's go to the objection again.
We're getting a lot of other calls. And once again, if you guys are looking and you guys have a buyer in mind, we can, if it's about connecting us with a buyer,
right?
We're open to that.
Okay. I felt him go back into script mode here. So I need to what? Interrupt his pattern. He's now going subconscious on what he's told every other realtor. So I need to say something off script, off pattern, interrupt his train of thought, and get him back into the flow that I want him to be in. Octavio, let me guess, bro. You've probably talked to over 30 people already in the last day, right?
Oh, it's rounding that number.
Yeah. So now I'm getting him back into like a frustration mode, right? And I'm going to lower his guard with one simple question. Can I be honest with you? Can I be honest with you? Right? A little laugh and a question that's going to lower his guard. Yeah, you can be honest with me. I don't know what realtors are telling you over the phone. This property will sell whether you use an agent or not, and you will probably sell it for a really good amount, no matter what. What am I doing right now?
Feeding his ego.
Just like petting him.
Yeah.
Octavio, man, it's gonna be okay, buddy. You've gotten a ton of these calls. I don't care what other realtors are saying. They're probably trying to convince you of so many other things. I'm here to tell you, and I'm not supposed to tell you this. You're going to sell this home whether you use an agent or not, and it's probably still going to be for a good amount. So now he's back to what we did in the beginning, Matt. We're siding with him. We're on the same team. We're not trying to be combative. We're not trying to present stats or be argumentative. I'm trying to get him back to seeing that I'm on his team, right? So I'm just stroking his ego a little bit. The reason why I asked you the question earlier, do you care about the commissions or do you want to make more net money, is because if obviously there was a way to get it exposed to buyers that were willing to pay more for it, you could end up netting more money. And listen, I'll be real with you, and you can. So I kind of micro pitched, right? I kind of micro explained what it is that we do at a very mid level, getting the property exposed to more buyers that have better offers that are going to help you net more. Now I have to lean out because I leaned in. Now I got to lean back out. Keep it real for it. You could end up netting more money. And listen, I'll be real with you, and you can keep it real with me as well. Most of the time when I talk to someone like yourself that's doing it on their own, they have people in mind that they would work with that are trusted, that are realtors. But in reality, if any of those realtors were really, really, really good at their job, you probably would have worked with them in the beginning because they're proven to get people more money, right? But with all that being said, I just wanted to be transparent. Notice how this was more of a rhetorical question. I was just trying to get him to be like, oh, okay, right, yeah, because I know that's the truth. I wasn't waiting for his affirmation. I'm like, look, let's be honest with each other. You can be real with me. I'll be real with you. If you had an all-star agent in your back pocket, another thing I could have said was like, you wouldn't be taking these calls, Octavio. You would have handed it off to them regardless of the commission because they were still going to net you more money, right? And then I'll present him here with the ultimate question. Bear with you and let you know that you could sell it on your own. My question to you is, are you more committed to just kind of doing this on your own, getting rid of it like that? Or are you open to the idea of going down the route that's going to make you the most amount of money net? Same exact structure again. Luis, remember we talked about ending the question with what we want him to lean towards? Let's listen to that question one more time. Getting rid of it. My question to you is, are you more, being said, I just wanted to be transparent with you and let you know that you could sell it on your own. My question to you is, are you more committed to just kind of doing this on your own, getting rid of it like that? Are you more committed to just kind of doing it on your own, getting rid of it like that? Notice the words that I'm using. Just kind of doing it on your own and getting rid of it like that? Or are you open to the idea of going down the route that's going to make you the most amount of money net? Or are you open to the idea that's going to help you make the most amount of money net? I said the route. I said, are you open to the idea of going down the route? That's more of like a professional word. So I'm making the second part of the question sound sweeter. I kind of trashed the first part of the question to make it sound shitty. And then I inflated the perception of the second part of the question to make it more attractive. Yeah? You guys with me?
Yep.
Matt says, yeah, 100%, man. Let's do that. We'll do it right after this review, and then we'll get into Raphael's.
No, I don't know who would take the other option, but no, I'm not.
It's like I waved the magic wand and put a spell on him.
Not the type to cut my nose to spite my face. I'm looking at the net number, and if we could make it work and everyone, I'm okay with that.
Now he sounds committed, right? I also sneaked in the word committed in that sentence, right? So he's like, no, I'm because now I kind of attacked the identity, right? Now he's like identifying with himself. He's like, no, I'm committed. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make the most amount of money net for this home. Okay. And again, just to give you
And everyone, I'm okay with that, the net number. And if we could make it work and everyone, I'm okay with that.
So is this him leaning in or leaning out?
Leaning in.
Way in.
He's leaning way in. So what do I have to do now?
Lean out.
Lean out.
Am I going to say, great, look, let's do this then, Octavio. Let's meet tomorrow. I want to show you everything that I can do for you. I'm excited to work with you. I'm excited to get this home on the market. I think you're going to love everything. What time can you meet tomorrow? Is that what I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to now lean out, right? Let's see what kind of version I presented here. Okay. And again, just to give you clarity, Octavio.
Everyone, I'm okay with that.
Okay. And kind of let a second and a half go by. I said, okay. Again, just to give you clarity, Octavio, the reason why I'm mentioning that, I'm sure you're aware and you've done this in the past. Right now, your tone is very calm. I'm not spiking up my tone. I'm not sounding more excited. I know I have him on the hook. Staying calm. You're getting probably a lot of calls. The reason why I'm mentioning that, I'm sure you're aware and you've done this in the past. I'm giving him credibility. I'm sure you're aware, and I know you've done this in the past, right? I'm trying to make him position himself in his mind as like the smart guy. I'm in control, but I want him to feel in control. Right now, you're getting probably a lot of calls from realtors and some buyers and also some investors. Okay. The only thing that sells a property for less or more is the marketing. And what marketing is exposure. If I can get this property in front of more buyers that have more money to pay for it and then put them in the property and actually show them the value of the home, not just financially, but emotionally, because that's what a residential home is. That's when you can have a result of, call it on average 8 to 10% more net money in a seller's pocket if done the right way. And obviously right now, I mean, I just met you over the. So that line right there is very important. I feel like a lot of agents explain or don't explain what we actually do, right? And they just say things like, I'll explain to you in person. You're not going to make, I know we've talked about saying something like, look, John, you're obviously not going to make a decision over the phone about who you're going to work with, right? And then we just leave it at that. We don't want to over explain on the phone, but we need to give them a micro understanding of what we actually do. What we do is help them understand how to put the property strategically on the market to attract the most amount of buyers, get them to walk through the property, and then create a financial and emotional reason for them to buy the home, right? So I need to explain that in a short, condensed version so that he has clarity on what we're actually going to talk about. Because if I just kind of be mysterious about it, that's not going to be a good look either. Okay. The phone, we've now pocket if done the right way. And obviously right now, so I kind of leaned in, micro explained what we do. Now I have to lean back out. 10% more net money in a seller's pocket if done the right way. And obviously right now, I just met you over the phone. We've never met. I don't even know if what I've done for other people can work for your property. I guess my ultimate question is, are you open to a second opinion at this point, just to see if it would even make sense for this home since you're so early on in the game?
I'm open to a second opinion.
Okay. Very, very simple, guys. What are the ingredients of this last sequence here? Someone break it down for me. Why is this so powerful? Yeah, go ahead, Grace.
You're showing them the outcome of what it could be if they were to work with an agent versus doing it on their own, and you're kind of giving them those two options before presenting whether or not they think it's a good idea to meet with you.
Yes. So in that micro pitch, we explained the outcome. I put a number on it, 8 to 10% more, which factually it's more. It's actually way more. If you go on Google and AI, it's actually way more of a percentage that realtors end up selling for sale by owner homes for. But what happens if I go and say something like, hey, Matt, when I work with clients, I can sell their home for 20 to 30% more. If I make a bold claim like that, what usually happens to my credibility?
They don't believe you or they'll hold it against you.
It's going to be like, how could you possibly do that? Why wouldn't everybody else just do that? Well, everybody else just does that, John. But you see how it kind of creates a combative environment now? All I'm trying to do is make it override the 2 or 3% that they're trying to save. So we'll go with a safe number of 8 or 9, 8 to 10%, because it sounds realistic, right? If I told a realtor on a sales call, hey, look, I can get you to 250K in 6 months, it's possible. It's happened. But if I told them that versus, hey, man, I can get you your first 5 appointments in the next 14 days, which one sounds more realistic? The latter. So they're like, okay, my belief system can understand the possibility of that happening. I'm open. Very important here is that I micro pitched, I leaned out, and I sold the exit. Let's listen to it one more time. Way. And obviously right now, I mean, I just met you over the phone. We've never met. I don't even know if what I've done for other people can work for your property. I guess it's like a little bit of a status play. I don't know if what I've done for other clients, other people could even work for this property, right? I'm giving myself a status boost while also leaning out. My ultimate question is, are you open to a second opinion at this point, just to see if it would even, make sense for this home, since you're so early on in the game?
I'm open to a second.
Right here as well. Why not use a negative frame? Why not say, Octavio, I'm assuming you'd be fully closed-minded to the idea of sitting down and listening to a second opinion. Why not use that instead of, hey, Octavio, are you open to the idea of a second opinion since you're so early on in the game? Why did I choose the positive frame?
Is it because he was sort of opening up at this point and he wasn't so combative with you at this part of the conversation?
He was overall receptive.
Yeah.
Throughout this whole call. Right? When they're very combative, trying to hang up, very short answers, you want to say something like, look, Octavio, I appreciate the conversation. I know you've gotten so many calls from different agents. I know that all you're trying to do is sell it for the most amount of money. However, it sounds like even if I told you there was a guaranteed way to make you more money here net, I get the feeling that you're fully closed-minded to a second opinion. Is that right? That would be more useful when you have someone really negative, not open, not receptive, combative, and it's kind of like a Hail Mary. But this guy was open. He's receptive. I got him on the hook. So I'm going to go with something very simple like, look, Octavio, are you open to the idea of a second opinion as long as it made sense and was going to lead you to the result that you're looking for? Make sense for this home since you're so early on in the game.
I'm open to a second opinion.
Okay. Okay. Like a calm, okay. Very important. Not like, okay, Octavio, great. Like, here's what we'll do next. No. Okay. I've done this 1,000 times. Property, I only see 3 pictures there, Octavio. Are you guys living in it or is this like an investment home?
Living in it at the moment.
Okay. So I kind of try to qualify a little bit here, right? To get some motivation quickly, and then we're going to wrap up the appointment. But when are you guys typically there? I'm actually going to be showing another home, probably a couple miles. Actually, the reason why I asked that question was for what? Is this a primary or an investment home? Why did I ask that question?
Their net
There's
goal.
a tenant.
Chris?
If there's a tenant.
Right. So how would that affect the way that I asked for the appointment?
Right. So you would have the, permission for the tenant, or even with the buyer, would be a first-time home buyer. So yeah, like.
What I'm trying to do right now, Chris, is play chess. I'm trying to prevent, now that the conversation is in a positive frame, right? I'm trying to prevent it to going back to a negative frame and going away from the appointment. So I want to figure out whether or not he lives there, whether he's local or not, so that I can ask for the appointment the right way. Because if I say, when can I pass by the home, take a look at it 20, 30 minutes, and he's like, well, I'm out of state. Now we're shifting the conversation to not the appointment, negative flow. I want to make sure I get that information beforehand so that I can already beat him to the punch. And if he's out of state, say something like, look, I know that you're out of state. You got a lot of stuff going on. Why don't we do this? Let's get me access to the home for 20, 30 minutes so I can take a look at it in person. And then we'll pencil something in on Zoom so we can chat. I want to beat him to that punch so I can make sure I go in with the right presentation for the appointment. So we don't shift the conversation from, yes, I'm open to, you know what, actually, because you're going to see right now, he tried to head to hey, just text me your information, right? Send me your info. Let me think about it. And he kind of talked himself back into it. Let's listen to it. Away from there tomorrow. You guys typically there. I'm actually going to be showing another home, probably a couple miles away from there tomorrow. I don't know if early afternoons or later in the evenings work better. And again, I want to be very, very clear with you and have you understand that I just want to take a look at the property. I've done this for many, many other homes just like yours, show you what I've done. And obviously at the end of the day, you're a smart guy. You already have your ducks in a row. If whatever I have to share doesn't make sense, we won't go over any other details and then we'll leave it at that. Why did I include that last part instead of just asking him for afternoons or evenings and going down the appointment setting process? What was that, by the way? What was that I just did there? The last sequence, what is the name of that technique?
I don't know the name of the technique personally. I would say what you did is almost you just completely relieved any pressure because you've kind of built pressure. Like you're asking questions, you're trying to set the time, and now you're just completely diffusing it. And then you're circling back to the very thing that you said that would make the most sense to him is if we have a strategy where we can work together to get you the most amount of money for your home, then we'll move forward. And so you basically just reiterated the entire point of the call, but I'm not sure the strategy name per se.
So, I mean, we call it objection prevention, right? We've talked about it a lot of times. It's exactly what you're saying though. It's diffusing pressure because now I'm asking for an appointment and his mind is focused on what? His belief system subconsciously is going to take over and start focusing on the idea that he's inviting a realtor over to talk about listing the home. And he knows subconsciously that that involves commission and cost. And what does our subconscious mind try to do at all times? In a split of a second.
Protect us.
Protect us. So I pitch I go afternoons or evenings, but I need to reiterate to his mind, remember, we're doing this to see if there's a better route to help put more money in your pocket. Because I already knew that if I would have just gone the appointment route, what is it? Afternoons or evenings, he would have then immediately, his mind is trying to protect him. He would have gone back to some sort of objection. Text me your information. Let me think about it. Let me talk to my wife. You have to make sure you relieve the pressure after asking for the appointment. Okay, let's listen to it one more time. I have to share and obviously property. I'll be very, very clear with you and have you understand that I just want to take a look at the property. I've done this for many, many other homes. What do we talk about? Remember this. Set the agenda and sell the exit. Just like yours, show you what I've done. And obviously at the end of the day, you're a smart guy. You already have your ducks in a row. If whatever I have to share doesn't make sense, we won't go over any other details and then we'll leave it at that. Right? All I want to do, set the agenda. All I want to do is take a look at the inside of the property, get an understanding of whether or not what I've done for other clients in the past would be a good fit for you. That's the agenda, right? And if at any point, Octavio, during our conversation, right, you're a smart man, you already have your ducks in a row. If we're not aligned at any point, you could just let me know transparently and we'll go our separate ways. Sell the exit. Pressure goes down. Okay? He's going to still try to get out of it, but he's going to talk himself back into it because of what I just did here.
Yeah, we could possibly do that. Can you?
We could possibly do that.
Can you maybe text me your information and maybe I can set up a time when it's good that I'll be there and we can discuss everything that you're saying. You said maybe tomorrow at what time?
Yeah, so an inexperienced realtor would have gotten nervous, cut him off, tried to handle the objection. But if I let him run for a couple more seconds, he handled it himself. And he talked himself into it. Listen to it one more time.
We can discuss. Text me your information and maybe I can set up a time when it's good that I'll be there and we can discuss everything that you're saying. You said maybe tomorrow at what time?
Yeah, so tomorrow I'm going to be in that area early afternoon. I'm a little flexible in the later evening. It wouldn't take more than 20 minutes. More importantly, I only see 3 pictures on here. I'm obviously going to do some research on the internet, but I'm not going to come in here and tell you what your property's worth by looking at, numbers on a screen, bro. At the end of the day, when you buy a residential property, obviously it's about the neighborhood, the feeling of the property, and there's a lot of emotion that goes involved, and that's how you can sell a residential home for more. I don't know if any realtors communicated that to you. So I'd like to see it. I'd love for you to show me the ins and outs of the property. You've been there obviously longer than I have because you own the home. And then I can kind of walk you through what it is that I do on the marketing standpoint. If any of that makes sense, we can discuss more details. If not, obviously you keep doing it on your own. Set the agenda, sell the exit all the way through.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, like you guys see how it's like you're talking to a child. Like he has no idea what the commitment he has to this process is. because he started the beginning of the call with, I'm not doing this. We have family members. I'm not paying a commission. To then you're seeing how I'm literally swaying his behavior by just the words that I'm saying, right? He was going to lean out, text me your information. Let's talk about it another day. And then I said something different. And now he's like, yeah. Sounds good. Okay. It's like we have full control of these prospects with our words.
Might be available more towards the evening.
Okay. Well, what are a couple times specifically tomorrow in the evening that you think could work so I can pop by?
Tomorrow is Thursday. I'd say realistically, I'd like to say 7 o'clock.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, I'm gonna pencil in 7 o'clock. I want you to text me your email when we hang up. Very important. I'm taking the lead. Okay, 7 o'clock. Let's do this. I'm gonna pencil in 7 o'clock. Why did I say the word pencil in?
It's a tentative.
It's tentative in his mind. I'm selling the exit, right? I'm not saying, hey Matt, I'm gonna send you a calendar invite for tomorrow at 7 p.m. We're 100% locked in and confirmed. That makes the sales pressure go back up.
Because you can erase the pencil, right?
Because you can erase a pencil subconsciously. Okay, so I'm gonna pencil in 7 o'clock. Here we go. Next sequence. Let's do this. Okay, I'm gonna pencil in 7 o'clock. I want you to text me your email when we hang up. I'm already training him, by the way, programming him. I know this sounds crazy, guys, but this is the level of communication I want you to understand. I'm programming him that I'm the one giving instructions and he's the one listening. Listen to my language right now. Let's do this. Okay, I'm gonna pencil in. Let's do this. I'm gonna pencil in 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. I want you to text me your email when we hang up. I want you to text me your email when we hang up. Not, can you send me your email when we hang up? I want you to text me your email when we hang up. I'm gonna do a little bit of research tonight. If for whatever reason, because I don't want to waste your time, dude. If for whatever reason I figure that what I've done in the past can't work for you, I'll just let you know ahead of time. If not, I'll shoot you a text, I'll confirm, and I'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m., okay? What did I just do there?
You reversed that you could actually reject him instead of him rejecting you for the appointment. 100%. You could cancel the appointment before he would actually gone to see it because you did the research, you know.
I took control of who's going to cancel the appointment. Versus naturally, they're the ones that like will reach out and cancel. I said, hey, look, I don't want to waste your time, man. I could have added, I don't want to waste my time either. I have a lot of things going on. I want to see whether or not I can truly help. If I can, I'll let you know and I'll confirm and we'll see you tomorrow at 7. If not, I'll let you know and we can just forget it even happened. My name's Alexis. I'm with EXP and I'll send you over all my details now.
Sounds good.
Okay. All right, Octavio. We'll talk to you and I'll see you tomorrow at 7.
All right, boss.
Bye. You heard him? All right, boss. He already knows what's coming. Right here. All right, boss. It's all like your words. We're trying to penetrate the subconscious mind with our words. We're trying to program the other individual, obviously, to do something that's going to be beneficial for them and their family. Always understand that. But our words, it's like the sword. I forgot who said this in a podcast. Jay, whoever was at Miami Mastermind in October last year, Jay said that years ago, we used to go to war and fight with swords, and that's how we would kill people. Now, we fight with our words. Our words is what wins wars. So our words that we choose to use in the way we choose to say them, the delivery, the tone, the timing, right? Because you guys could say exactly what I'm saying, but if you flip, Luis, if we flip every question, is Luis still here? Where's Luis? Did he leave? Oh, there he is. If we flip all the questions that I asked in reverse, it's a different outcome, right? So it's not just the words, it's the control of the words, the timing, and the tone, right? This craft here is like the most important craft that we can master. It controls every outcome in business and in life. It controls where you put your time with your family, your loved ones, right? Your communication. Hey, Matt, are you more so feeling like takeout, or do you think we should go out, grab a dinner, sit down by the fire, and hang out outside? What are you feeling tonight?
I mean, the second option sounds way better.
Right? Hey, Matt, you just like feeling takeout, man? Like have some like crappy Chinese that gave you like that stomach issue one time, or you want to like get out. You see how like crazy you can take it? You can associate it with a bad experience that they've had in the past, and then ask a question based on a positive experience they've had in the past as well. So you can bring this into your delegation, your leadership, the way you talk to your partners, your family members. Everything's communication, right? This guy, like Chip is very, very advanced. He said a lot of for sale by owners and closed a lot of for sale by owners. In this specific Zoom session, he had just called and did a great job. Wasn't able to get the appointment. I called right afterwards. Same framework, different timing, different tone, different words, got the appointment. So I don't say it to say, hey, Chip's great. Chip's probably closed the most FSBOs out of a lot of us in the last 6 months. But it goes to show, it's like, whatever you believe about the prospect, oh, they're getting too many calls, this prospect's impossible, it's not a good lead. Some of them are not a good lead. But when you know how to use your words correctly, like a weapon, you can flip almost any scenario that you want to flip.